What's up, guys? Tomorrow, Montana Rifle opens. You can see I'm at the reloading bench here. And about 3 weeks ago, I did load development. Last minute load development. I know I wouldn't advise it. It's not recommended. Be more prepared than me, but sometimes life happens and hunting is not always priority number one. Other things are. And so I'd gotten a new barrel for my 6.5 PRC that I put on from the guys at Short Action Customs. Was excited about that. And I wanted to try a new bullet from the guys at Sierra out of my 28 Nosler, the 175 MKX. So I had to do load development. I wasn't excited 10 days out from the hunt, really like about a week out from the hunt. So I've been trying to streamline my load development process because I don't like load development. I like rifles that shoot good, and I like rifles that shoot well, and I like to shoot them and hunt with them. I don't like to sit here and tinker with these things. I like to have a process. I like it to be consistent, and I want to be able to remember what it is. So let's run through how I basically took 2 days to the range and had a brand new load for both rifles and was ready to hunt. Because it doesn't take a lot of time if you use good components and you have a good rifle. And I get it, it's expensive, but technology's come a long ways, and most people have setups that will do exactly what I just did with minimal work. So I'm gonna flip this camera around and I'll kind of show you a little bit of my nitty gritty stuff here on paper. Okay, so let's start with the 6.5 PRC. I did have a little bit of experience with these 142 MKXs. I shot them at the end of my old barrel. So that was a 22-inch barrel. I was shooting 55.5 grains of H1000. We were getting about 2874. Which if we look down here on the chart, 2850, 55.2, we're right in the ballpark. And the new barrel is about 19 inches, so less barrel length. We know we're going to have less speed. So the 55.5 inch or 55.5 grains is probably, I bet I'm in the 27 something. So I knew I wanted to start at 55.5 and work up. So I just arbitrarily was like, sweet, let's look at this. Let's come up with an idea. Let's load 7 at 55.5, 7 at 56, 7 at 56.5, 7 at 57. And then we went and shot them. But before we get to those results, let's really quick talk about how I prepped my brass and loaded my brass. All right, so this is a brand new Peterson 6.5 PRC piece of brass. If you start with fresh brass, this is gonna be the quickest because you don't have to resize, clean, do anything. The two biggest things are the powder, obviously, we put in here, and when we seat the bullet. Now, new brass typically is gonna have some imperfections in the neck of the case. So what I do, and I do have an electric one of these, but I did it by hand because I just moved and I haven't got it all set up. I'm gonna deburr and chamfer the neck of the case. That's gonna remove any little material imperfections. It's gonna smooth it out and help the bullet seat smoother and more consistently. Next thing that I did was, this is a mandrel, and mandrels are gonna make sure that the neck of this case is very concentric and consistent size from case to case. If you look at all your new brass, there's going to be some that are not perfectly concentric. Brass is very soft, and when it's in bags or cases or whatever, in the process, it could get a little bit marred up or dented or whatever. And so we basically want to make sure perfectly concentric neck at consistent dimensions, so that when we seat bullets in here, we're getting consistent neck tension. And that should tighten up our velocities and our standard deviations, which at distance is going to keep our elevation cone of fire tighter, which for shooting animals, steel, whatever, is important. So then I would put a primer in the back, and then we're going to throw charges. One thing that you want to do when you do load a bullet in here is, if you don't know where your lands are, definitely put it in the chamber of your gun before you go to the range, and make sure that the bolt will drop and it will close on the round. Nothing sucks more than going to the range and thinking that either old ammo or the ammo you loaded is going to go in there and it's tight bolt throw, and then you get one stuck and you got to go home and tap it out or whatever. So if you have a SAMI chamber, you can find tons of information on what the correct overall length, or even base to or the overall length to the ogive of the bullet. Use Google, use forums. If you have a custom chamber, your gunsmith should be able to tell you what to load this to or where your lands are at. So load these up, seat bullets, go to the range. And let's look at how it shot at the range. Okay, you can see 55.5, 56, and on up. And we can see I was a chump. I pulled this flyer out. I think it was me. But we've got some good group sizes all the way across. Like I thought we were going to be 2,700 average. SD, it's okay. Here we go, still in the 2,700s. Getting closer, and now we kind of make a bit of a jump to 2812. Great group, good SD, good ES. Obviously this is only 7 shots, guys, but I like it. It looks great. I'm not trying to take a bunch of time. I'm not trying to shoot 20 shot groups, burn a bunch of ammunition, a bunch of components, and a bunch of money. To me, this looks like a winner. So, sure enough, I went home to go look at it. So obviously I wrote all this data back down because I'm going to throw this away. I just kept this for you guys. And then let's see. I loaded 32 more. 0 held. Dope, easy, and solid to 1,000. So let's spin this camera around. So basically that second range trip, I made sure that my grouping was good, my numbers were good. I entered all that data into my Kestrel, into my Leica app, and I went down, I shot at 400. It's a good reference point. And when you're shooting steel or rocks or whatever, make sure that if you're not spotting it very specifically with your eyeballs through the scope, film it through your spotter, have a buddy watch. We want to make sure our elevation is dead nuts. So we get it at 400, and basically, typically, seems like the solvers are pretty good, and then we go out to 1,000. And then if there's any discrepancy, we're going to adjust things slightly, which I usually will do muzzle velocity first to try to get it to true up. And then if we need to tweak BC, we can tweak BC a very minor amount. And typically, if you've done things meticulously, you've documented, you've kept track of your speeds, you've entered everything in correctly, you should have an exceptional trajectory that's easy to true. And now I'm ready to go hunt. One thing to think about in this process though, I loaded 32 for the second trip to the range. I probably should have loaded more. This is where there's a little bit of risk involved because if it doesn't shoot good at the range, you're stuck with a bunch of rounds, but it should. And powder throwers can be finicky. I don't have the best powder throwers in the world. These Matchmasters are nice, but they're not the best. So if I come in here a week apart and load rounds at the same exact spec, it could actually be different. So when I do that second round of loads, I like to load at least 50 or whatever I think will allow me to go verify at the range, true my trajectory, and go hunt. So I don't have any discrepancies. It's all the same batch, the same personal lot of my loads. And that's pretty much it. So guys, this doesn't have to be complicated. I did the same thing with these 175 MKX for my 28 Nosler, the same 2 days, and got something that shot exceptionally well. We can see here, we had 75.5 grains, 0.608, great numbers, going over 3,000. If you're gonna have a 28 Nosler, it might as well be hauling ass. It's like having a Ferrari or a Porsche, not driving it fast. But get good components, be meticulous, maybe not meticulous, but be precise. Write down your process, be detail oriented, and all those things should lead to consistency, which consistency is key, both in the loads, how you shoot the rifle, your process as a hunter, whatever it is. And without a ton of work, guys, you should be able to get a good load shooting for your rifle because no one likes to step out into the field and go on a hunt and be questioning their gun setup. That sucks. And having confidence in your system is half the battle. So hope this helped you guys out. If you want to see a deeper dive, a more highly produced version of this where we kind of go into the weeds on reloading, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do it, but it'll be this winter. I just wanted to put this out there because I was stoked to do it quick for myself, get good results, and I just want to share with you guys that it's possible if you haven't done a bunch of reloading and you're just wondering what that looks like. So if you got questions, drop them in the comments. If you like this, do all the things that you know you're supposed to do. And good luck out there this fall on rifle hunts.